The Roanoke Colony, one of England's first attempts at establishing a settlement in the Americas, has gone down in history as one of the greatest mysteries. The disappearance of this colony remains unsolved, with numerous questions still unanswered. The story of the Roanoke Colony is filled with courage, hope, and enigma. In the late 16th century, Europe was experiencing a great age of exploration and colonization. Spain and Portugal had established significant colonies in the Americas, and England wanted to join the race. Queen Elizabeth I recognized the importance of establishing new colonies in the Americas to strengthen and enrich England on the global stage. Thus, the establishment of the Roanoke Colony marked one of England's first permanent settlement attempts in the Americas. Reasons for England's interest in the Americas. Economic opportunities. The New World was rich with resources, offering significant economic opportunities for England. Precious metals like gold and silver were vital to the European economy, and these resources promised to expand England's trade network and economic power. Strategic advantages. Establishing colonies in the Americas would provide England with strategic advantages over Atlantic trade routes. It would also be a critical move to counter the expansion of rivals like Spain and France. A strong presence in the New World would reinforce England's dominance over the seas and contribute to its status as a global power. Population growth. By the late 16th century, England faced social problems like population growth and unemployment. Establishing new colonies in the Americas was seen as a way to alleviate these issues and provide new living spaces for English citizens. Additionally, trading with native populations would enhance economic relations and foster new cultural exchanges. The story of the Roanoke Colony begins with Sir Walter Raleigh, an English aristocrat and sailor who received permission from Queen Elizabeth to establish colonies in the Americas. In 1584, Raleigh organized exploratory expeditions to the eastern coast of North America. During these expeditions, what is now known as Roanoke Island in North Carolina was identified as a suitable settlement site. Sir Walter Raleigh's life and expeditions. Early life and career. Born in 1552, Raleigh developed an interest in maritime exploration and discovery at a young age. He gained fame through his military services in Spain and Ireland and became a favorite of Queen Elizabeth. During this period, Raleigh undertook various missions to enhance England's maritime power and discover new trade routes. Exploratory expeditions. In 1584, Raleigh organized his first exploratory expedition to establish colonies in the Americas. Roanoke Island on the North Carolina coast was identified as a suitable location for colonization. During these expeditions, Raleigh aimed to establish diplomatic relations with native populations to solidify England's presence in the New World. In 1585, Raleigh sent the first group of settlers to Roanoke Island under the leadership of Ralph Lane. This initial settlement attempt failed due to harsh conditions and conflicts with native populations, leading the settlers to return to England within a year. The first settlement attempt and its failure. Challenges faced by settlers. The settlers faced harsh natural conditions, food shortages, and diseases in the New World. Conflicts with native populations further exacerbated these challenges. Additionally, the settlers' lack of familiarity with the region and inadequate knowledge of farming contributed significantly to the failure of the first settlement. Evacuation of the first colony. In 1586, the settlers, unable to withstand the harsh conditions, returned to England. This marked the failure of England's first attempt at establishing a settlement in the Americas. However, this failure did not deter England, which continued preparations for new explorations and colonization efforts. In 1587, Sir Walter Raleigh organized a second group of settlers led by John White. This group included about 115 settlers, including women and children. John White, serving as both leader and cartographer, made significant efforts to ensure the colony's success. John White and the Second Settlement Attempt. John White's role. John White was a skilled cartographer and artist tasked with leading the new colony and addressing the settlers' needs in the New World. He was also responsible for documenting the settlers' daily lives and mapping the region. Plans of the settlers. The second group of settlers, reaching Roanoke Island in 1587, aimed to establish a permanent settlement. The group, including women and children, was hopeful about creating a new life in the New World. The settlers intended to survive by farming and trading with native populations. Upon reaching Roanoke Island, the settlers found remnants of the first colony, but no sign of the settlers themselves. The new settlers began working on establishing their new lives, but soon faced harsh natural conditions, food shortages, and tensions with native populations. Plans of the settlers. The second group of settlers, reaching Roanoke Island in 1587, aimed to establish a permanent settlement. The group, including women and children, was hopeful about creating a new life in the New World. The settlers intended to survive by farming and trading with native populations. Upon reaching Roanoke Island, the settlers found remnants of the first colony, but no sign of the settlers themselves. The new settlers began working on establishing their new lives, but soon faced harsh natural conditions, food shortages, and tensions with native populations. Challenges faced by the colony. Natural conditions. The settlers contended with harsh climate conditions, wild nature, and unsuitable land for farming. These conditions made survival an ongoing struggle. Food shortages. The settlers faced food shortages due to inadequate resources. Hunting and fishing did not provide sufficient sustenance. Additionally, the settlers lacked the necessary knowledge and experience to utilize the region's natural resources effectively. Relations with native populations. Tensions with native populations threatened the settlers' safety. The conflicts experienced by the first colony remained a concern for the second group. The settlers attempted to establish peaceful relations with native populations, but these efforts were not always successful. John White had to return to England to secure supplies and support for the colony. Leaving in 1587, White departed with a heavy heart, leaving behind his family and the settlers. However, upon reaching England, White found that the ongoing war with Spain made it difficult to send aid to the colonies, delaying his return to Roanoke for 3 years. John White's return. Challenges in England. Upon returning to England, White discovered that the war with Spain necessitated the postponement of aid efforts. This delay prevented White from returning to the colony promptly. Throughout this period, White remained concerned for the colony's survival, continually seeking ways to return. The lost colony, finally returning to Roanoke Island in 1590, White found the colony deserted, with only the word Croton carved into a tree. This word suggested that the settlers might have relocated to nearby Croton Island, but White's attempts to search the island were thwarted by bad weather and other obstacles. White's return was met with great disappointment, as he found no trace of his family or the settlers' fate. The story of Roanoke Colony's establishment and its early days sets the stage for exploring the colony's disappearance's potential causes and theories. The disappearance of the Roanoke Colony has sparked numerous theories and speculations over the years. This section delves into the possible causes behind the colony's disappearance and the theories surrounding it. Conflict with native populations theory. Many historians suggest that one possible reason for the disappearance of the Roanoke Colony was conflicts with native populations. Relations with the native tribes were known to be tense, and these tensions could have led to the colony's demise. Relations with native populations. Initial conflicts. The first colony established in 1585 experienced conflicts with native populations, posing a threat to the second group of settlers. The natives may have perceived the English settlers as a threat to their land and resources. Intertribal wars. Conflicts between native tribes could have also endangered the colony's safety. The English settlers might have been caught in the crossfire of these intertribal conflicts. Support for the theory. Archaeological evidence. Some archaeological findings may support the idea of conflicts with native populations, though definitive evidence remains elusive. Oral traditions of native populations. Oral traditions and legends among native populations might provide clues about the fate of the English settlers. However, these narratives have likely evolved over time, making their accuracy debatable. Disease and famine theory. Another theory posits that the colony succumbed to disease and famine. Harsh natural conditions and insufficient food resources in the New World could have made survival difficult for the settlers. Harsh natural conditions. Climate and weather conditions. The settlers might have faced harsh climate conditions and natural disasters, adversely affecting farming activities and food production. Water sources. A lack of clean water sources could have led to the spread of diseases. Contaminated water may have exacerbated the spread of infectious diseases. Diseases. Infectious diseases. The settlers could have been affected by infectious diseases prevalent in the New World, leading to significant fatalities. These diseases might have been transmitted through contact with native populations. Lack of medical assistance. The absence of adequate medical assistance in the colony could have prevented the treatment of diseases, resulting in higher mortality rates. Food shortages. Insufficient food resources. The failure of farming activities and inadequate hunting and fishing could have led to food shortages within the colony. Hunger would have weakened the settlers, making them more susceptible to diseases. Climate changes. Climate changes could have reduced the yield of agricultural products, adversely affecting food production. Croton theory. The word croton carved into a tree remains one of the biggest clues about the colony's disappearance. According to this theory, the settlers might have relocated to nearby Croton Island and assimilated with the native population there. Croton Island and native populations. Location of Croton Island. Croton Island, situated near Roanoke Island, was identified as a potential relocation site for the settlers. Assimilation with native populations. The native population on Croton Island might have accepted the English settlers, leading to their assimilation and survival. Support for the theory. Archaeological findings. Archaeological excavations on Croton Island have revealed some evidence suggesting that English settlers might have lived there. However, these findings do not provide conclusive proof. Oral traditions of native populations. The oral traditions of the Croton natives might offer hints about the presence of English settlers on the island. However, the accuracy of these narratives remains debatable. Supernatural and mysticism theories. Some less scientific but popular cultural theories propose supernatural and mystical explanations for the disappearance of the Roanoke Colony. These theories attribute the colony's disappearance to paranormal events or unknown forces. Paranormal events and mystical theories. Paranormal activities. Some theories suggest that the colony's disappearance was caused by supernatural events. It is proposed that the settlers were abducted or eliminated by an unknown force or paranormal entity. Mystical powers. Other theories believe that the native populations possess mystical powers and use these to cause the colony's disappearance. According to these theories, the natives may have eliminated the colony through mystical rituals or spells. Support for the theory. Popular culture. Such supernatural and mystical theories have found a significant place in popular culture. Novels, films, and television series often depict the Roanoke Colony's disappearance as involving mysterious and paranormal events. Lack of scientific evidence. However, these theories lack a scientific basis. Archaeological and historical evidence remains concrete and realistic, contradicting the notion of supernatural events or paranormal activities. Early research and rescue missions. Following the disappearance of the Roanoke Colony, several research and rescue missions were organized in England. However, these efforts often ended in failure. John White's return. White's efforts. Returning to Roanoke Island in 1590, John White found the colony deserted. White attempted to reach Croton Island but was thwarted by weather and other obstacles. White's narratives. John White's return and discovery of the deserted colony caused great disappointment in England, further deepening the mystery of the colony's disappearance. Rescue missions in England. Early rescue efforts. In the late 16th and early 17th centuries, England organized various rescue missions to find the lost colony and uncover the fate of the settlers. However, these missions often failed to provide definitive answers about the colony's disappearance. New discoveries and reports. Rescue missions in England established contact with native populations in the region to trace the colony's whereabouts. However, the information provided by the natives was often insufficient, preventing a clear understanding of the colony's fate. Modern archaeological research and findings. Modern archaeological research has provided significant insights into the disappearance of the Roanoke Colony, though the mystery remains unsolved. Archaeological excavations. Excavations on Roanoke Island. Excavations on Roanoke Island have uncovered evidence related to the settlers' lives and disappearance. However, these findings are not sufficient to explain the colony's complete disappearance. Some artifacts and structures offer glimpses into the daily lives of the settlers, but fall short of providing conclusive answers. Excavations on Croton Island. Excavations on Croton Island have revealed some evidence suggesting that English settlers might have lived there. However, these findings also lack conclusive proof. Although some artifacts and structures support the assimilation theory, they do not definitively confirm it. Technological advancements and new research methods. DNA analyses. Modern DNA analyses are used to investigate potential relationships between native populations and English settlers. These analyses could provide new insights into the colony's fate. For example, genetic similarities between native populations' DNA samples and English settlers could support the Croton theory. Geophysical surveys. Geophysical survey techniques help detect underground structures and remains. These techniques could uncover new evidence about the colony's disappearance. Specifically, underground structures on Roanoke Island and its surroundings could offer important clues about the colony's final days. Historians and researchers' perspectives. Various theories. Historians and researchers propose various theories about the disappearance of the Roanoke colony. These theories consider possibilities such as conflicts with native populations, disease and famine, and relocation to Croton Island. Each theory is supported and debated based on different pieces of evidence and findings. Future research. Future archaeological and scientific research might provide more definitive information about the disappearance of the Roanoke colony. Historians and researchers continue to work towards uncovering new evidence. The development of new technologies and research methods promises significant advancements in solving this mystery. The disappearance of the Roanoke colony has significant implications and leaves behind a lasting legacy. Impact on English colonization policy. The disappearance of the Roanoke colony affected England's colonization policies in the Americas. This failure prompted England to reassess its future colonization efforts and implement more careful planning. Jamestown Colony. A new beginning. Following the disappearance of the Roanoke colony, England established the Jamestown Colony in 1607, continuing its efforts to maintain a presence in the Americas. Jamestown proved to be a more successful colony and laid the foundations for England's permanent presence in the Americas. Success of Jamestown. The success of Jamestown resulted from England's revised and more robust colonization strategies. This success reinforced England's colonization policies and encouraged further efforts to establish colonies in the New World. Changes in colonization strategies. More careful planning. The failure of the Roanoke colony led England to adopt more careful planning for future colonization efforts. This included better management of food and resources, improved relations with native populations, and stronger military defenses. Diplomacy with native populations. England increased its efforts to establish peaceful and diplomatic relations with native populations. This was a critical step towards ensuring the safety and sustainability of future colonies. Place in American folk culture. The disappearance of the Roanoke colony has secured a significant place in American folk culture. This mysterious event has inspired numerous stories, novels, films, and television series. Roanoke in popular culture. Stories and legends. Many stories and legends have been created about the disappearance of the Roanoke colony, often depicting the event as mystical and enigmatic. These tales have captivated the public's imagination, leading to widespread speculation about the colony's fate. Literature and art. The disappearance of the Roanoke colony has inspired numerous novels, short stories, and artworks. These works explore the colony's disappearance from various angles, engaging historians and readers alike. Historical novels and science fiction works, in particular, dramatize and mystify the colony's disappearance. Television and cinema. Series and films. The disappearance of the Roanoke Colony has been depicted in various television series and films, presenting the event as dramatic and mysterious to captivate audiences. For instance, the television series American Horror Story dedicated a season to the Roanoke Colony, dramatizing the mystery. Legacy of the Roanoke Colony. The disappearance of the Roanoke Colony has not only remained a historical event, but also a subject of ongoing research and significance for historians and researchers. Archaeological and historical research. Ongoing research, archaeological and historical research into the disappearance of the Roanoke Colony continues to provide crucial clues about the colony's fate. These studies hold the hope of uncovering new findings and resolving the mystery. New technologies and methods. Modern technology and research methods offer the potential for more definitive answers about the Roanoke Colony's disappearance. DNA analyses and geophysical surveys are particularly valuable tools in this quest. Education and scientific research. Educational materials. The disappearance of the Roanoke Colony is frequently discussed in history classes, serving as an important example of historical research and analysis for students. Such historical events offer valuable opportunities for students to develop research skills and critically evaluate historical occurrences. Scientific articles and books. Numerous scientific articles and books have been written about the disappearance of the Roanoke Colony, exploring the event from various perspectives and engaging historians and researchers. These publications emphasize the importance of historical research and scientific analysis. Historians and researchers' final thoughts. The disappearance of the Roanoke Colony remains an unsolved mystery for historians and researchers. Despite numerous theories and speculations, reaching a definitive conclusion is challenging. Different views and theories. Various theories. Historians propose different theories about the Roanoke Colony's disappearance, considering possibilities such as conflicts with native populations, disease and famine, and relocation to Croton Island. Each theory is supported by varying pieces of evidence and findings. Common ground. While there are common elements among these theories, each must be supported by consistent evidence. Consequently, reaching a definitive conclusion about the Roanoke Colony's disappearance remains difficult. Future research. New findings. Future archaeological and scientific research might reveal new findings about the disappearance of the Roanoke Colony, providing crucial insights into the colony's fate. Research potential. The disappearance of the Roanoke Colony offers significant research potential for historians and researchers, serving as an enduring example of the importance of historical research. The disappearance of the Roanoke Colony remains one of history's greatest mysteries. This event has left an indelible mark on American folk culture and continues to hold significant importance in scientific research. As historians and researchers strive to uncover the truth, the Roanoke Colony's disappearance continues to await new discoveries.